Hey, today is May 12th. It's a Wednesday. This is actually my third or fourth time recording the same video because for some reason OBS just doesn't work, or the recording software just doesn't work on my Mac, so I am using a different laptop. Hopefully this take works because I'm kind of tired of saying the same stuff over and over. But I did take one trade today. It was a winning trade on Tesla. I'm going to be recapping that, and I'm also going to be reviewing a another theoretical trade I could have taken on Microsoft. Only reason I didn't take it is because I took one winning trade on Tesla, and I simply wanted to call it a day. But let's go into the analysis of this Tesla trade. Um, right off of the morning, Tesla has a nice move up, about an $18 move up. It broke pre-market high, it filled the gap, and it was approaching prior day's high. Just looking at ES was super choppy. Just zoom into it a little bit. Super choppy action on ES, actually moving down while Tesla moving up, so relative strength to ES. NQ was moving up, but it was very, very wicky. And just looking at it in the grand perspective of things, it wasn't even close to recovering the loss from pre-market. Well, Tesla, on the other hand, recovered the loss approaching prior day's high. So let me just scroll. Okay. Yep. So the trade I took on Tesla was actually out of demand. I personally don't like playing calls out of demand or puts out of supply because to me it's counter trend and I like trading with the trend. However, when everything aligns as perfectly as it did today, I will take it as long as it is a high probability setup. Um, so let's get into it. What were my confirmations to take Tesla out of this daily demand? The first confirmation was, the fact that it was in a higher time frame demand zone. Higher time frame demand zones tend to provide better reactions because they are stronger on a higher time frame. Uh, my second confirmation, and personally what I liked best about Tesla, this is probably the main reason I took it, is just looking at the psychological number 600. 600 is a key psychological level because it is round and it is in the hundreds. So, a lot of traders are watching the 600 level on Tesla. So there will be a nice reaction, nice momentum around this level. So knowing that we had demand below, I was expecting retail to get faked out below lower day and the 600 level because if you didn't have this demand zone, then we looked good for more downside. So that was my second confirmation. My third confirmation was what was my third confirmation? Okay. My third confirmation was this nice volume spike inside of demand. You can see that um, we had a nice lower wick below 600, but we didn't close below it, and we had significantly increased volume. So that was my third confirmation. My fourth confirmation was that ES was approaching a fresh 90-minute demand zone. I wouldn't consider the market weak at this point, just because I like to talk about the two demand rule test. If we break through two demand zones, we are weak. If we break above two supply zones, we are strong. But in this case, we were approaching our first demand zone at 11 o'clock, and same thing, ES approaching demand. It had a nice bullish close, nice lower wick, nice full-bodied green candle. So that was my fourth confirmation on Tesla. Uh, my fifth confirmation on Tesla is the fact that it was relatively strong in the morning. So there is increased attention to Tesla. Five confirmations. And lastly, what I liked about it was VIX. And I've been using VIX a lot more in my trading lately. Trading. Uh, okay, I'm surprised why the key level doesn't show up. Okay, but 24.8 is a key level on Tesla or on VIX. And this is 24.8, this price level too. And you can see that at 10:55, where ES and Tesla bounced out of demand, VIX had a 5-minute bearish close below 24.8. And if VIX comes down, rejects from a key level, then the market will tend to move higher because VIX and the market and the equities inverse each other. So that was my sixth confirmation going into this trade, the fact that VIX couldn't get above the 24.8 key level. And notice how everything happens at the same time. At 10:55 is when VIX rejected, 10:55 is when ES bounced, and 10:55 is when Tesla had a nice bullish close, faked out a lot of retail. So this is what I mean by high probability trades, when everything happens at the same time. I played one relatively expensive contract on Tesla. I think it was around, not sure of the exact price, but it was either 720 or 820. Entered here. My target, because I was playing one contract, was this next key level, the 608 key level. What I liked about 608 is that it held it as support at 935 and 940, and it acted as resistance at 1020 and 1025. I think it also acted as resistance or support in pre-market as well. I don't have pre-market data pulled up, but 608 is definitely an intraday key level. So if 608 is acting as resistance at 1020 and 1025, why would it not act as resistance later on in the day? So that's where I took my full position off my one contract, and I literally almost bottom ticked and practically top ticked this move, which it was kind of lucky, but I did exit at the 608 key level. So perfect plan, perfect execution, and I was able to get a full dollar on the contract, so a nice $100. So that was my trade on Tesla. I don't like to take it out of demand or puts from supply, but when you have six things lining up at the same time, I am going to take the trade. Next trade was on Microsoft, and let me make sure the video isn't too long. 6 minutes, not bad at all. But you can see that Microsoft actually had relative weakness in the morning. Microsoft considerably below its low day, also gapped pretty significantly, like a $2 gap at where did it get? Oh yeah, so around 1020, 1025, Microsoft is significantly below its low day, while ES at 1025 is it's not really above its low day. Low day was here at 10. Let me go back to NQ. At 1025 was here again. It's barely below the 930 candle right here, so you can see that Microsoft has clear relative weakness. So that was my first confirmation, the fact that Microsoft had relative weakness. My second confirmation, and my plan, was actually to take a break of the 240 key level. 240, round number, also being a psychological level. The break of 240 targeting 3-hour demand. So those are my next two confirmations. The fact that we were breaking below the 240 key level, and the fact that 3-hour demand wasn't for a while away and acting as a magnet. So 3 confirmations. My fourth confirmation going to this trade was actually context. And what I mean by that is the only if I go to NQ, you can see that we didn't have daily demand for a while. So the only thing stopping us from moving lower to daily demand was this fresh demand on ES. So what happens when we break that fresh demand on ES? Market is going to move lower, nothing stopping us from hitting daily demand. So look at what happened at 1150. I want to talk about when everything aligns up at the same time. At 1150, ES broke out of its fresh demand, and that's when we had a nice move into daily demand. At what did I say? I said 1150. At 1150, look at what Microsoft did. Microsoft broke below its lower day at 1150. So this was a good place to get in right below the lower day break here, targeting demand. I talked about 4 or 5 confirmations, but everything happens at the same time. ES broke its fresh demand, NQ now heading to daily demand. Microsoft broke lower day, heading lower. And last but not least, let's look at VIX. Remember that 24.8 key level I was talking about, which helped me in that Tesla trade? Well, resistance will now become support when we break above. And at exactly 1150, we broke above the 24.8 key level and started moving higher. So when VIX moves higher, the market and futures will move lower. So everything happened at the same time, and this is what I mean by a high probability trade. So that's like either 5 or 6 confirmations again. Oh, we also did have increasing volume towards the break. I feel like I talk about that a lot, but again, we did have increasing volume, so that is 6 confirmations for this trade. A good place to exit, because we did not hit the 238 demand zone 3-hour, is when NQ hits demand. That's another valid exit. when NQ hits daily demand, the market is going to reverse. So when NQ was a couple of points away from demand and started reversing around 12:15, 12:10, that's a good place to exit your final contracts for Microsoft. And yes, this isn't the move I would have wanted, but just looking back, this is a high quality trade, and this could have easily crashed into 3-hour demand. But this is 10 minutes. I feel like it's a good time to end the video. Also, another fact I want to talk about is today is the day where you want to trade. We had good setups today, so put emotions aside and capitalize on the moves lower or the moves up. And just knowing that we had a nice day filled with good opportunities, I know Thursday and Friday are unlikely to be like this. So just having that expectation, keeping my expectations in check as well. I'm not expecting anything crazy to happen on Thursday or Friday, but I will be there to trade if something does happen.